Hello everybody, Niklas Seidloff here. Recently we launched a new community site called collaborationtoday.info. The site is an aggregator for news about IBM collaboration solutions. The application has been built via X-Pages by people from the community. Pierre-Henrik Lausten, Serdash Bajemes, Bruce Elgott, Frank van der Linden and myself. We intend to open source the application soon on OpenNTF.org. As part of David's Drive to 99, I'd like to describe the application in a mini-series of videos. In the first part I'm going to describe the core functionality, and later I'd like to describe how the app has actually been built. So let's start with the user experience of the readers of collaborationtoday.info. This is the homepage of Collaboration Today. It uses a simple 3-columns layout. In the left column is a navigator allowing readers to switch between the different pages. In the right column is a list of most recently added news entries. And the middle column contains the actual content, the list of news entries. The content of the news entries is written by various professionals in the IBM Collaboration Solutions community. Collaboration Today aggregates links to these articles. In order to add links to Collaboration Today, we use the concept of moderation. Experts for the different categories or areas can add links to articles and can also place them on the homepage. For example, what you see here is what we call spotlight articles. These are typically high-quality articles which remain visible on Collaboration Today for a week or even longer. Good examples for these spotlight articles are product announcements. Below this section is a section that we call Editor's Picks. The moderators can choose which articles to display here. These picks usually change every day or every other day. Each category can contain up to 4 articles. For example, the AppDev or the business category contains these 4 articles. The AppDev category contains these 4 articles. Now the categories here are the same ones that show up in the left navigator. There are categories for business, app dev, and also infrastructure, user experience, and community. And categories have subcategories. For example, app dev has the subcategories X-Pages, connections, and so forth, allowing users to really filter only the content that they are interested in. So when I click on X-Pages, I get now a news stream for everything related to X-Pages. Now, one other page that I wanted to highlight here is the page called Popular. For each click on a news entry on any of our pages, we store when this was clicked and we store what IP address clicked it. Now, this allows us to create this page Popular, where we display the news entries which have been clicked most of the times during the last week. The next thing I'd like to demo is the responsive design. Now this is the web user interface, and now you can take a look what happens here when I reduce the real estate. So first of all, the left column disappeared, and I can choose or navigate to other categories here now at the top. But I still see here the right column. Now if I even have less real estate, the right column will disappear as well, giving me another user interface that fits better on smartphones. And in order to show that a little bit better, how it actually looks like on tablets and smartphones, I'm using here this other website, Responsive IS. And here I can choose now the tablet user interface in landscape mode, where I still see everything. Then when I change the orientation to portrait, I only see the 2 columns. The left column was collapsed here. And I can also choose here my smartphone, in which case I see the entries like this. And when I change to portrait mode, this is how I can see now my news entries. And again, I can go to, let's say, X-Pages category or any other category like this. In addition to that, there's some more user or functionality that readers can use, which you can find here at the top. So first of all, there is an about page describing the purpose of this website. And the interesting thing here is that it also lists the moderators. And these, again, business, app dev, infrastructure, are the same categories from here. And we store in Notes documents the moderators of these different categories, and they are the only ones who have access to these categories, and they are listed here on the About page. In addition to that, there is a contact page where users can suggest new articles, provide any other feedback, change their profile, etc. And this page is interesting. It's how you can stay connected or follow Collaboration Today. First of all, there is a Twitter account called Collab Today. And then we have all sorts of feeds for all of these different categories. For example, this is recent news. You can subscribe to them here, for example, using Firefox, and then the subscribe to this page menu entry. And here are again all of our pages and the categories. In addition to that, there's also a widget that you can easily embed in your own web pages. So all you need to do here is, let's say, page view source, and you can embed here Dojo if you haven't done that yet. You need a specific div, and you need to include a JavaScript file and a CSS, and then you basically only set some JavaScript variables to define what to show. For example, here's where you can set the different categories. And last but not least, we also have an API allowing you to build your own widgets or embed it in any way you could think of. And here's a very simple example. Again, when I go to view page source, you can see the JavaScript code, the Dojo code that invokes a REST API, api.xsp, and then with using some parameters. And then it only goes through the JSON and displays all of them. And this is not really beautiful, but it works functionally. And when you go in Firebug, you can actually see the Dojo here, the JSON data that is returned. Okay, so everything I've demonstrated so far was the user experience for readers of Collaboration Today. For moderators, there's some more functionality and some more pages available. But before I can see them, I need to define myself as moderator, which I can do here by using the Notes ACL. So when I open this up and choose myself, you can see that I have these 3 roles. Now everyone who wants to add content to the page needs to be a moderator, and all the people who want to define what shows up on the home page need to be spotlight and top moderators. Now, in addition to that, I can also define all the categories that show up in the left navigator here declaratively. So you can easily add one, and you automatically get the entry in the navigator. You automatically get a new feed. You automatically can use an API to read from your new category. It's all very dynamic. Now, for each category or subcategory here, I can also define the owners, and only these moderators can then actually add content to this category. So when I now go back into my web browser and I log in here as Niklas Heidloff, and then I do a refresh of this page, you can see here a new entry, moderation. And also when I navigate over these icons, I don't only see here the standard share buttons to Facebook, Twitter, Google+, but there's also the edit button available here. So I can click on it and it brings me directly to the moderation UI for this particular entry. So here I can define things like the publication date, I can change the title, I can change the author, I can define the category or subcategory. I can define whether or not to show up on the home page as a top story or spotlight story, and so forth. Now, what I want to show you next is how easy it is to add something to Collaboration Today. Now, in order to do that, I turn on or make this bookmarks toolbar visible, and here I can drag this bookmarklet and drop it on here, and now I have this link always, and I can easily use it now to add entries to Collaboration Today by just clicking it. So in this case, I've opened here an X snippet from OpenNTF, and let's say I want to add this entry. I say add Collaboration Today news. Then it gives me this UI here, capture URL. I can press the button, and now it reads some metadata from the website. For example, the title and so forth. Now for author, I now need to pick the author here, Tony. I can change the type. I use the type X pages, and I can change here the abstract. I can define whether or not to show up on the home page, and I just say I leave all the defaults, and then I can say approve. And now when I go back, you can see this entry here under most recently added, as well as in the full page mode, and when I go to the X pages category, I see it here as well. So really easy for moderators to add content to this web page. In addition to that, there are some other views for moderators. For example, here is a page that allows moderators to easily manage the top stories, or what we call editors picks, as well as the 4 spotlight articles at the top. There's also some other views to navigate through all of the news entries that have been approved, to create new authors or edit authors' profiles, and you can also open this view here, Popular, which is basically the same one, or it's the exact same data as you can see on the Collaboration Today homepage. But here you can even see as a moderator the clicks, all-time clicks, and the clicks in the last week. In addition to the bookmarklet, there's also basically a scheduled task running that reads certain registered blocks and puts these entries into a queue. So here is where all the entries show up that have been read automatically, but only moderators can see them. They can tweak them, triage them, and then approve them, or they just delete them. And in order to show that, I want to switch quickly back here to my notes client, because here I have a list of registered blocks. At this point there's only 3 blocks from Bruce, Per, and myself. And I can now go to my Domino console, and I can load dots, and I can run that particular task, read feeds, which again usually happens on a scheduled basis, and I just, for the purpose of this demo, want to trigger it manually. So it tells me that 3 blocks have been read. And now when I go back to the website here and refresh, I see these entries showing up here in my queue, and as a moderator I could go in here now. I could check the content. In fact, I didn't want to open the link, but the moderation UI. Here I could change the author if necessary, the abstract, and so forth, and then I can finally approve it. This was a quick run-through of the functionality available to Collaboration Today readers as well as to moderators. In the next video or videos, I want to talk about how we've actually implemented this application. We've used some pretty interesting patterns here and techniques, for example, for how we store all news entries in memory to be fast enough and to be able to scale. And we've also used an interesting technique how we store the click counts, etc. I hope you enjoyed this video. Thanks a lot for your attention.